Please make brachot for Rav Moshe ben Makkah, Tisku LaMitzvot for the sponsorship. Continuing now with the halachot that we left off in. Again, we're dealing with Halachot Lashon Hara, who one may not speak Lashon Hara about. We spoke about your spouse, your in-laws. Now we're discussing a child. We're continuing in the halachot that pertain to a child. There are many ramifications when may or may not speak Lashon Hara about a child. So he continues and says, some hold that to say that a child has a serious deficiency, in essence, that he possesses a terrible midot, would be an exception to the above rule and is asur to relate it, even if no harm will result from it. Others say that there is no indication that there's no indication that the child will still have these bad midot when he grows up. So it is only prohibited if relating it will actually cause him harm or damage now or in the future. So again, we spoke about with children, the idea of Lashon Hara is as simple as will it cause them harm now or later. The general derogatory term that is Lashon Hara by adults that doesn't necessarily cause harm it doesn't apply to children unless it causes them harm now or later in their lives. Now, they highlight an important point that let's say it falls in the category that you're not causing any harm, and which would be permitted in theory to speak about the child. The author is right. You have to be very careful that in the sequence that you're going to relay over the information about the child, that it doesn't come to now speak negatively about the children's parents. Very often you'll say the kids are doing something bad, and the conversation will come, oh, his parents aren't good, their home is broken, the parents don't know how to parent. That's Lashon Hara. Even though it started from the kid, it ends up with the parents. That is Lashon Hara as well. If the purpose of talking about the minor is to curtail damage that he's causing others, and or to get assistance for him to return to the proper path, it is permitted. So let's say you're a teacher under bar mitzvah boys and girls, bat mitzvah boys and girls, and this kid is misbehaving, and you want to speak to the principal, speak to others. How can we help him come back? How can we help him say brachot, have work on his character, not hit, not get angry? It would be mutar because you're trying to help him. However, one must be very careful to ascertain that the truth and not rely on hearsay. You have to have seen it with your own eyes and not based on different rumors of what our people are saying. In addition, one must strive to foresee negative ramifications to the child that may be brought about through this revelation. So like I said prior, making sure that when we speak and try to help the child, it doesn't actually fall back and spell Lashon Hara about the parents saying that they weren't equipped to raise children. A Rechilut too may not be divulged by a minor. Also, Rechilut applies to children. He gives a classic example. Let's say you're in Kanisa, you're watching two kids fight, and you go tell the victim's father, by the way, this kid hit your son. You didn't see the full story, you don't know what it is. That's Rechilut because it might cause strife if that father now comes to confront the what we assume to be the abuser's father, causes unnecessarily strife. That is what Rechilut, according to the Chafetz Chaim, it's a classic example that he brings in his work. And last, the third category of whom we may not speak Lashon Hara about is an Am Haaretz, an Ignoramus. One is not permitted to speak Lashon Hara about or Rechilut regarding an Am Haaretz. He too is a full-fledged member of the Jewish nation and is asur to speak negatively about him unlawfully. We'll speak more about this later on. Who is considered Amecha, who isn't considered Amecha, but a general Am Haaretz Ignoramus, who is unlearned, is still considered a full-fledged Jew, and we cannot speak Lashon Hara about him. Have a wonderful day, and Chazak u'Baruch.